In 1868, the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment was created, saying that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, meaning every citizen is entitled to fair treatment by the government, regardless of their background and characteristics.
Our nation put forth this ideal that all are created equal, a nation where there is equal justice under the law. Black folks and white folks, Christians, Jews, Muslims, gay, straight, marched and fought and sat in.
For me, due process guarantees that as a woman I can serve on a jury, vote in all elections, and have the right to pursue a safe abortion.
The CEO of Planned Parenthood Rocky Mountains made a promise to patients in Colorado and beyond when she said, "Our doors and our hearts stay open."
The Supreme Court decided that the right to privacy prohibited that sort of law that criminalized birth control.
America provides resources to women that many other countries could never dream of.
The horrible conditions in which Afghan women found themselves under the Taliban.
One of the impressive things about the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment is how durable and important it has been in the history of the United States. It was an effort to give freed slaves, recently integrated into society, equal rights.
It was seen as a way of incorporating African Americans as full citizens in the United States.
America that we see today was essentially birthed by the Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education, which really opened up the door to America being able to be true to what it claims it is, which is a society of equality and justice. The Supreme Court's decision in that case essentially made the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which had been ratified in 1868, made it finally true, ensuring that African Americans were equal citizens in the United States.
Various 14th Amendment arguments are being made, and it's usually in terms of the police violated my rights.
Out of all of the data that's available, there is a disproportionate amount of blacks that are shot and killed by police, and a disproportionate amount of blacks that do not see their cases go to court.
And that students are entitled to free speech, to liberty. Same thing is true of any discipline.
It is especially important to know in high school that actions have punishments but don't define us.
Due process for juveniles is that they can be represented and their families' needs are represented, therefore put into a juvenile youth development center. And the perspective of youth development centers is rehabilitation.
The Due Process Clause meant that every undocumented child has a constitutional right to a public education.
The idea of due process gives me hope that I can truly live up to my potential as an American citizen. As a daughter of immigrant parents and as a student, I am able to receive an equal education and fair treatment like my majority counterparts.
Schools know there's lots of different kids now, and they try to make accommodations. And now almost every school in the country has trans kids in it.
There are emerging issues related to people that believe they are entitled to gender reassignment or transgender individuals. There may be issues that occur for them that are as important as the issues were for immigrants, as important as the issues were for African Americans, blacks, and as important as they were for women.
I would say it is certainly one of the most important, if not the most important, source of our notion that people who exist in a group that's not a majoritarian group, that doesn't have a lot of power, that nonetheless they are entitled to substantial protection under the Constitution.
Generations of couples who insisted that love is love. We now live in an America where all of our marriages
and our families are recognized as equal under the law.
We talk about the pursuit of happiness. That comes in a lot of different forms, and I really feel like that for us, part of our happiness and was based on this, that we would be able to share our lives for the rest of our lives without the fear of something being taken away from us because we're two gay males.
The first 10 amendments to the federal Constitution, which until this amendment only applied to actions by the federal government. It didn't affect what legislators did or courts or police did at the state level. After this amendment, the answer was no, that all of those other amendments, everything from free speech to the protection against incrimination or self-incrimination, that all of those things apply throughout the states.
To me, due process means I will receive fair treatment in all aspects of life. It means I have certain rights that no one branch can take away from me, such as freedom of speech, religion, and voting, no matter my background.
It means that everybody, that the government gives favor to none, or it gives favor to all equally, so that it doesn't matter who your parents are, where you're born, where you live, how much money you have, what your race is, what your religion is. The government needs to treat everyone fairly.
One would hope that we have a system of laws that would treat a multimillionaire no less or more favorably than someone who came from the soup kitchen.
Have we achieved for all people in our country the right to life, liberty, and property?